Greetings, fellow seekers. I am the Lord Kragan and I bring you great news. Today at Warhammer First, Steel Sky Productions just launched the demo version of the Warhammer Underworlds online game. Thus, it's official. We can see and play the video game we are all waiting for. Warhammer Underworlds Online is indeed a reality. We've been, as the average plebeian will not be able to play it, to touch it. But this pre-alpha version is being leaked into the internet, and we are able to see a few pictures and GIFs of it, which are pretty useful to guide us and give us a teaser of what is to come. So we're going to jump into the meat of the matter, of course. The first thing we will see is how the warband will be presented, how we will choose and know what we are choosing. As you can see, each warband will be represented by an iconic fighter, Garth Facecoat from Ghost Fiends, and over in the wall for Steelheart's champions, and will be represented in a booklet as well as a letter, a post, so to say, that's represented in bold letters, which makes it pretty clear what you're picking. It's neat to have good audiovisual feedback, so to speak. Now jumping into the game proper, as you can see, the board placement has been done pretty well because we can see clearly the tiles of the zones, and more importantly, they give us a pretty distinct vision of the no man's land, knowing exactly where we begin our land and where begins the enemy's land. As we can see, the objectives are also present, as well as other background scenery that doesn't matter in the game, but does add to the visuals. I must say that the textures are incredibly neat, and Steel Sky has done a great job with them, better than I expected, really. It looks pretty polished, even for a pre-alpha build. We also have we can see that they've put a lot of detail into reducing the amount of bookkeeping, because we can see how much glory we have, as well as how much glory has been spent already. So little details like this, for example, we can also see a charge token in Megor, so showing which fighters have charged without the need of placing a token ourselves. The computer will do it for us, which is pretty neat, as well as some atrocious hands for the Stormcast player, because he has four upgrades, no ploys, so it's pretty rough, because he has no glory, he cannot move those cards, and 3 objectives, 2 of which are meant for holding objectives. Stormcast suck at ball control because they lack the bodies, and the bodies are meant more for fighting proper than holding terrain. Now, bear in mind that these digs are randomized and are meant to give you a teaser, not the experience proper. Another detail that we can see in this image is how the attack rolls will be done. In one column we will see the attackers, which are the dice that are shining, and in another column we will see the dice of the defender, which is the arrows we can see here in this edge, next to the tower that's shining. I mean, it's not as visually appealing like the tower of 3 dice, mainly because there's a fucking crit there, so it better be worth it, but it's still pretty distinct. Now onto the second image, and we can see a bit again of the same, the movement tokens, the tokens that say the terrain you can reach, and we're selecting, so they give again you pretty easily visual feedback. They also give you a clear indications of what you can do, for example, play a card or pass with visual feedback again, what you're doing. I keep repeating visual feedback a lot, but I think it's very important that a PC version of a game like this has a clearly standardized and very easily recognizable visual cues, because it makes the game easier to pick up for the newcomers, and it makes the thing more smooth, which again props to Steel Sky City, because they are doing something that's pretty recognizable. They're going in for the details, like the no man's land again, and the object is proper. So again, props to them, really props to them, especially things like the tokens and all. And now we can see again how you can see the cards when you're selecting them, and you're being able to see them closely, select and focus on them. From what I've been able to see, there may be cards from the Nightfall set that are launched with the initial version, the pre-alpha, the early access. So it's not as I feared, because I thought we would only see shadespire stuff, the first block of releases. But this looks very promising. And they again give you clear indications, give you clear text, clear choices and information on what you're going to do and what you can do and what will happen if you do so. Again, props to them. I keep repeating this too much, but another detail, this is the fighter cards, which will cover the fighters whenever they are not inspired. You will see the other effect if they are indeed inspired. At the end, you can see, you can select them, and they are shining the hexes, so again giving you clear visual cues on what you can do. And then activation 4, this is something I want to note down. As you can see, there's a few fighters that are shining. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that this is that they are inspired. So again, they give you clear visual cues, visual information about what you can do and what you will not be able to do, as well as indicating about which activation you are going for, which in some cases, if you forget about your tokens, can be a bit of a pain. Lastly, to see, we can see again indication and visual cues of what you are achieving, what will happening, as well as indication of the objectives that are done. Again, the Stormcast player has gotten incredibly rough hand because he has a late game objective, all the upgrades in his hand, and another objective card about holding an objective. Luckily, he has an immediately scoring objective, which is good for his momentum, but rest assured, you will be able to mess with this kind of things with the deck. You will not be saddled with these kinds of situations if you play smartly. With this, though, we finished the available images. There's a few things like GIFs that showcase the wall-offs. They again show the animations. And I keep saying this, it's fairly well polished. It's better than expected. And I don't mean this in the sense of shilling stuff, but in the sense of this is fairly well done for what I was expecting. I was expecting something more basic. And again, I want to thank you to all you people at Silkcast Productions like Skg, Amelia, and the like, for all the awesome job you've done, and helping fans like me that are unable to get a game now in a current location, helping us achieve more games and finding a wider community. Thank you very much. And Rob Kraken out.